Hi, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Modern Web. Today we have a pretty cool topic. This is about the Node mentorship program. And just in general, it's been really cool to see Node have a mentor program, and wanted to share it and invite some amazing contributors and mentees and mentors on the podcast to kind of see, hey, how is this program actually running, and how can other communities implement something like this. So on the call I have Ahmad Bamieh, who is a software engineer at Elastic. He also leads the mentor program. Welcome, Ahmad. Hello.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Yes, thank you for coming. We also have Benjamin Coe, who is the who was actually a previous mentor, and he is helping shape the mentor program. And Benjamin is also a developer programs engineer at Google and a Node collaborator. Welcome, Benjamin.
Hey, good to be here.
Thanks for joining. Next up, we have two awesome mentees. So first, I'll go ahead and introduce Jennifer. And Jennifer is a senior software engineer at Stanley, Black & Decker, and she previously went through the mentor program.
Yep, that's correct. Thanks for having me on today.
Yes, thanks for joining. And last but not least, we have Princiya. And Princiya Sequeira is a lead front-end engineer at smartHelios, and she also went through the Node mentor program. Welcome, Princiya.
Thank you.
Very cool. So first off, maybe we can talk about what is the mentor initiative so people can understand what exactly is this thing.
Do I start?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I started contributing to Node almost 2 years ago, and I really had a hard time finding a way to contribute and getting into the Node collaborators and like to understand the source code. And I didn't realize there's another part of Node that is not related to code, the working groups, the community committee, the technical steering, which was amazing for me because it's a big community and everyone is doing their role. So I thought that maybe the experience that I got from getting into this and trying to learn how to do this, we can apply it and get other people to help. Like Turney and Dan helped me a lot to get started with Node, and I wanted to replicate this experience on a larger scale. It's not the first time the mentorship program was the initiative was not the first time that it happens in Node, but they were smaller scale and they didn't continue for a few reasons. And I tried to learn from those experiences to make this program more scalable. At the moment, we're in the second beta round in the mentorship program, and it's going really well so far. I hope to hear more from the mentees and Ben to see their experience as well.
Yeah, thank you. Ben, can you tell us a little bit more about I know you've been an active part in sort of shaping the mentor program.
Yeah, I mean, what excited me about the program was, despite having been involved in open source for quite a while, I was an early employee at NPM where I did a lot of work on open source JavaScript modules. I still found the Node code base pretty intimidating. It had it has a pretty entrenched group of really brilliant technical folks who work on it, and it's a very fast-moving project. So despite being involved in Node for so long, it was intimidating for me to get my first few commits in. And I also believe very strongly in mentorship as being a great way for people to learn in our industry. So once I was actually feeling a little more comfortable in the Node code base, I think I saw just a call for people to be involved in the mentorship program, and I found it very exciting. One, because my own experiences of it being a bit intimidating to get involved, and two, because I really believe it's something that's valuable for our industry to have people help each other.
Yeah, and another question I had for you, Ben, was, what was it like to be a mentor through the program? Like, how was it set up actually? How was the mentorship set up?
Yeah, it was, as Jennifer said, we were kind of doing the test run. So there was we've gone back and forth on how long we would want an actual mentorship pairing to be. Like, is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Is it a month? For the test run, we said a month, but actually ended up doing 5 weeks, I believe. And what it essentially was we had a few set tasks we were trying to work through. It was basically getting a few unit tests cleaned up and fixing a couple bugs. And we had a weekly hour meeting plan to kind of work through the issues, kind of share knowledge, find out where folks were being blocked. And then, independent working for the rest of the week. It worked fairly well. It was fun. I feel like we landed a couple of commits. We kind of kept it pretty constrained, and it took about an hour of my and Jennifer's time each week.
That's really great. I definitely remember my first commits to some large libraries, or I guess my first PRs, not my first commits. But then when I finally got that PR merged, but I remember beforehand just thinking, oh my gosh, are they going to merge it? Oh my gosh, did I do this right? Am I okay? And just kind of going through that. So it sounds really nice that Jennifer and Princiya and others have had folks like you, Benjamin, and you, Ahmed, kind of like leading them through that process. Jennifer, love to just, what were your thoughts on the mentor program, and how did it help you, and what was the experience like?
The experience was absolutely incredible. Most people look at JavaScript as the fastest growing programming language that people use, and Node gives people the ability to use JavaScript on the back end of their applications. So almost every JavaScript developer probably is familiar or has had firsthand experience with Node. And this was my opportunity, as like Ben said, was to be able to give back to the community on a product that I was familiar with and had been using for a long time. And I heard about the program, applied for it, and then eventually was selected for the beta version of it. So there were initially, I think, 4 people, myself and 3 others, that were chosen, and we worked through it. I got paired up with Ben, and it was a great opportunity to understand how things were structured, so that when you want to contribute to an open source project like Node or any other open source project, you can figure out how they're structured, how they want pull requests formatted to be able to have, and then a list of issues, and then how to pick something that is easy for you to work with, and then be able to contribute, and then having that absolute moment of joy when your first pull request is accepted and you are an official contributor now to the community. So it was a great experience, and it's something that I would encourage people that want to give back to consider doing.
That's awesome. Princiya, how about your experience? Was it very similar to Jennifer's, or you're working with so many different people, so I'm curious to see.
Yeah, the experience in general was good. So having worked in web development for quite some time, at that time I was looking to dig deeper into the V8 engine. And it was at the same time that I saw the mentorship program, and I was beyond excited to participate. And luckily, I also got accepted. But yeah, it was also like managing other tasks, and yeah, there were. I was already an open source contributor, so I was not that keen into making a pull request. I was more looking. Trying to really look into performance issues and how to deal things that way. And I was lucky enough to get paired up with Stephen from Elastic. Yeah, so they are part of the Node.js diagnostics working group. So in terms of input, yeah, I think those few weeks were like were really nice exchange of thoughts, getting to know and learn the things which I wanted to learn. So in my case, yeah, even though I did not really make any pull requests or not real contributions to Node.js, I think it served the purpose of what I wanted to learn. And in the end, I wrote some blog articles, and I also did the mentorship, the cartoon, what you see in the README there. Yeah, so overall, it was a nice experience.
That's awesome. That's actually quite interesting for me to hear two perspectives of that, because, you know, one of you was, you know, cared about the commits and just kind of getting your first contributions and kind of worked on some simpler issues when it came to what's going on within the, you know, the node ecosystem, like some small bits and bytes, right? But Princiya, your experience sounds like, hey, you've done this before, but it was a really good way for you as an already open source contributor to get more involved in Node. And so that, Ahmed, was that kind of your vision when you guys started the program? Did this kind of reflect? And for the upcoming versions of the mentorship program, what's the intent? What's the goal?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. When I first started, the intent was just to start this thing and share more with people and have people like integrate with Node more. Currently, we're learning as a team, me, David, Ben, AJ, we're all learning the different aspects of mentorship and how people are benefiting from it, from both the mentor side and the mentee side. So lots of mentors are looking for people to help them close issues. And for example, Matteo is working on streams, and there's only like 2 people working on streams in Node, and they want to bring more attraction to people knowing streams in Node and how they work inside internally. So some mentors want to increase like people who contribute in that area of Node. Some people want to just spread knowledge and recreate what they've already experienced regarding having a mentor, such as Ben and me. And for mentees, some mentees want to just get into the ecosystem. Some mentees want to learn more. Some people just want to get more connections and know people better that are already working with Node. Some people, I get feedback, they're getting to know more people that they see on Twitter, they see their contributions, but they've never like talked with them, and they get the chance to do that as well and also give back to the community. I want to say that also our mentees are also providing resources such as videos, blog posts, which are a contribution by itself. Like the pull request is not a measurement for your contribution. Just spreading like what is diagnostics, a blog post is more than enough. It's actually very great because it brings more people. Not everyone gets the chance to be mentored. So this way we can like increase the impact of the program as well.
Yeah, and Ben and Ahmed, what are kind of the metrics that you guys are setting in place for the success of like how do you determine success of one mentee?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that's part of why we kind of fixate on pull requests a little bit, because it does indicate, you know, we're getting some tangible input into the project. Not to, but I do think that's like you bring up a great point, Princiya. Like I think we should be looking at involvement in working groups. Like Ahmed said at the start, there's more than one way to be involved in nodes. So, like, you know. As an example, Jennifer made some really good blog posts that got some really good traction in response to her going through the mentorship program. So what constitutes success? I mean, we have more mentors this time around. That's good to me. That seems like a step in the right direction. So that's feels like a metric success. It does feel like the it does feel, I guess feeling is not a great metric, but qualitatively, it does feel like we're in a much better position to start the second round of mentorship, just in terms of the number of mentors involved, which I think was one of the challenges in the very first run through, was we didn't have that many mentors who were ready to take on mentees.
Any other thoughts, Ahmed?
Yeah, regarding measuring success in terms of mentees, we try to get feedback from the mentees as a soft measurement. As for hard measurement, we didn't really have any like hard metrics other than pull requests and resources they shared. I still believe these two are very important metrics, either like sharing back to the, it's one of the criteria of how we choose mentees is like having people that are willing to and they want to contribute back to the community. Their main focus is not just to learn and gain something for themselves, but also to give back to the community. And we're basically tracking this as a measurement of success as well. So are they giving back to the community? Are they continuing to collaborate? Or the mentorship thing is the last thing we hear from them in Node?
I think it's sort of saying that like personally for my own ethics, it's less important to me that we have, we double the number of pull requests to Node, or we significantly increase the number of people contributing to Node. And it's more important to me that we get a larger variety of people contributing to Node from different backgrounds than necessarily we had contributing before. Just get fresh perspectives. And I mean, people like, there's been studies that say that, the more different perspectives you have contributing to a project, the healthier it can be. So that's one of the things that excites me a ton about the mentorship program, more than just like the very hard metrics of we've doubled PRs to Node this month or something.
Yeah. Jennifer and Princiya, what would be your advice for mentees to get the most out of a mentorship?
My advice would be to take it, if you're in the mentorship program, is to take advantage of that opportunity and make sure that you learn what you're being taught by your mentors. So there are different areas that you can be working on within the Node project. So whatever area you're on, you've given them that opportunity to get that training from your mentor. And then once you've got that training, then you can go out and start contributing yourself based on what you've learned. But then hopefully the goal is, once you've learned, is that you then are able to go back and share your knowledge with others, so that it becomes like a ripple effect through the community to have more people contributing. So that's my feedback.
Yeah, my feedback would be, so having clear goals during the mentorship program really helps you. And this is an advice to not just Node.js specific mentorship, but mentorship in general. So be ready to teach as well while you learn. And these days, there is also the thing called reverse mentoring. And I think mentors also need to be ready to learn from mentees. So it's all about being with an open mind to learn and share, and defining clear goals. So this way you can make the most out of your mentorship.
Yeah, I really love that. I think that's the biggest thing. It's I've paired with so many people in the past, and you can really tell who needs practice on how to teach, right? You can understand a topic, but it really does make you a better engineer if you can convey a message to a junior developer, or to anybody actually in that fact, during a pairing session. And so, yes. Let's see, what other questions do we have? I think maybe on the mentor. Sorry, Princiya, you were going to say something.
No. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, I want to say something. So
go ahead.
I also was mentored by Dan in the mentorship program as well. Just as an exercise, and also Dan Shaw is a huge asset to the Node.js community, and he's a great person. And the mentorship program is all about like building this personal connection with people. So you can learn like on YouTube videos and read tutorials, but mentorship is really like this personal experience. And my personal advice for mentees and mentors is get to know each other and try to capitalize on each other's strengths. So I kept like asking Dan these very different questions: how to talk in video chat, how to negotiate, how to all these different stuff that are not in the scope per se, because I was mentored in how to lead the initiative and also about the ComCon, the community committee in Node. But also I asked these all different questions because he's really good on these other aspects as well. So he was willing to help out and give me his perspective on many things beyond just this scope. which helped like improve our relationship, and also it helped me get better results from the program itself.
Yeah, the another advice is as mentees, just do not be scared to ask questions, and asking the silliest of the questions will help or learn the most difficult things or many of the things.
I think one of the biggest takeaways of this podcast is that you don't have to be a junior developer to be part of a mentor program. Yep. That, I think when you hear mentor, mentee, a lot of, more senior developers are thinking, oh, well, that's not for me. This is for somebody who, maybe just got out of a boot camp or something. But that was definitely not the case here, which is really cool.
I mean, what I myself found really valuable is even though I care a lot about Node, it's hard to carve out that time for myself on a weekly basis to be writing a PR, and helping Jennifer was really valuable for me to be like, okay, I'm going to spend an hour and 30 minutes today just get dusting off the Node.js code base and doing some work on it. And so it's just really beneficial to me from a mentor standpoint as well.
Yeah, I love that, Ben. I actually would love some more thoughts on that of why should you be a mentor? So I think everybody gets so busy with their days, especially people who are contributing to these open source libraries. But why should somebody take their time and do mentorship?
Yeah, I think so. Similar to what I said about having that focused time on a weekly basis where you're thinking about the project is great. But as other people were saying, just getting in the headspace of teaching someone something helps you kind of rethink about why you do things a certain way and makes you better at doing what you do. So it's like teaching forces you to be better.
The other thing I really love about the Node ecosystem is it's so big, right? I mean, so you have not just the core team like most libraries that are out there, but you have the TSC, the Technical Steering Committee, and then you have the ComCom, the Community Committee, and then you have all these working groups. So you have the modules working group, I can't even name all of them, but I think workers is another one, right? And then we have the user feedback, and then we have the mentor one. So really, even just as a junior developer, if you're looking to get involved, you can really make a huge impact on Node by just figuring that out. But it is difficult. It is difficult to figure out where on earth to start. So maybe another piece of information that I would love to hear from anybody on this podcast is, where do you get started with Node? You say, I want to contribute. What do you actually do?
Do you mind if I go first? And for me, definitely, it's where I've made the most significant contributions has definitely been in areas I care a lot about outside of Node. So for me personally, I've done a lot of pull requests around testing and test coverage related stuff. And that's because it's a personal passion of mine. So it wasn't so much that I'm like, I'm going to land 5 things in Node. It was more, this is something I see that I'm passionate about that I think I can help Node do better. So if you have areas like that are an area of expertise or that overlap with your day job, like Princiya was saying that you care a lot about performance. So I'm sure there's a lot of work that can be done in Node around performance. So taking those things you're already passionate about and helping bring them to the project has been really valuable for me.
The other piece of advice could be, it's not only about code. It can be just being part of the community, and you can just triage issues. You can look at pull requests. You can test out the code. Just try setting up and running the setup on your local machine, and maybe just write something about it. Which will also be part of contributing.
Cool, awesome. Well, Ahmed, when are we starting the next cohort for the mentor program?
So this round we already have the list of 13 awesome mentors, And we're going to start the cohort hopefully by next Monday. So it's going to be the 15th of April.
That's exciting. That's very exciting. What's the URL to find that information?
It's Node.js/mentorship.
Okay, great. Awesome.
On GitHub.
Yeah, and you know, Jennifer and Princiya, I know that you all spent some time as you were going through the mentor program as mentees, creating some great open source content for people. I'd love to hear more about those.
Well, as part of the beta program, what we did was we recorded all of our meetings with our mentor. And those are available so people, if they are interested in learning more about contributing to Node, can go out and watch those videos and see what our experience was firsthand. Outside of those meetings that we did every week, I created several other videos talking about my experience with the program so people can look at that. And then we both wrote articles about our experience, and people can read about those also. And, you know, if the next version of the mentorship program starts Monday, you know, if you weren't selected for that round, but you still want to contribute, you can look at what we went through, learn from it, and have the exact same information that I was given, and then be able to take the initiative and go out and start contributing from learning what you saw from our videos. So that's something that we can share and provide links to so that people can go through and watch them or read the articles. But it shows you exactly what the mentorship program would be like when you're involved with it. And, you know, before you get a mentor, you can start contributing now by watching that material.
That's awesome. Princiya, what about you?
In terms of resources, yes, nothing much to more than what Jennifer said. Yeah, maybe can you please reframe the question again?
Oh, yes. I was just wondering if you had any interesting videos or articles or anything like that that was created that you created during the mentorship program.
Oh, yes. So I wrote 2 blog posts about this, how I heard about this program and what I did. And then, as Jennifer said, the meeting notes were recorded in as GitHub issues, which I think was a cool way to log meeting notes. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. We at this we also have we call it the Hire the Vampire program, and it's also an apprentice program. And part of it is getting more women in tech to be able to submit PRs, their first PRs to open source libraries. And so we're working with a company called Apple Tools to do that currently. And it's been quite intriguing. And what I love about it is our apprentices are able to take that information and give it back to the community. Say, hey, this is how I did it. This is what it was like. This is whatever. And I think the other really cool thing as being a mentee and or mentor, and I've seen this happen to a few folks that have gone through our apprentice program, is you can go and give a talk about it at a conference. So it's really, you can go through the mentor program, you can be a mentor, you can be a mentee, and, you can spend a month doing it and that's fine, but you can really actually maximize the amount of impact that you want a program like this to have. So the world is your oyster. So another thing is, if you want to get involved in the mentor program or the shaping of it, Ahmed, do you have any advice on how to do that? Can anybody kind of participate?
So for the mentors, we're only targeting members of Node because they are the ones that they're giving the experience and guidance. For the mentees, anyone in the world can join. We also value diversity, and Node.js ecosystem is very friendly, and we're part of this ecosystem, and we try to make it as diverse as possible and as friendly as possible as always, and welcoming. To get started, go to the repo. We have a label for mentorship diary, which each mentee just lists all their activities, the blog post, so you can see a specific topic, a specific scope, let's say diagnostics or testing, and you can see all the different interactions that happened and the resources that the mentees are sharing and the mentors. To join the team, we need we have different like pieces of the puzzle to get this going as a program. So feel free to ping us on an issue or on Slack. We're using NodeSlack as our main communication channel. So just feel free to ping us, and we'll be more than happy to chat and see where it goes from there.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. All these folks are also on Twitter, and I will go ahead and paste their Twitter handles in the links below. Once again, thank you so much, Ahmed, Benjamin, Jennifer, and Princiya for joining. If you want more interesting podcasts about front-end technologies and modern web frameworks and libraries, check out this.co/modern-web, and we have quite a few more episodes there. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.